Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going over the 7-star Garchomp Raid with this Orthworm, one of my favourite shinies in the game, favourite new Pokemon. Really struggle not to say Earthworm though, to be honest. So you want a Tera Type fighting, holding a Shell Bell. You could probably have Stellar Tera Type if you can be bothered getting the shards, but not necessary. Iron Defense, Body Press, Protect and Mud Slap. You do want to have Earth Eater, that is huge for this raid, so you don't just get Earthquake to death, which I feel like they're doing a lot lately, which is killing me. Maxed IVs and then obviously EVs, you want it to be in HP and defense, guys. So let's get into it. Apologies, there is no background noise. It bugged in my recording. This is actually the second time this video bugged for me, which is killing me, so I might just put some weird generic music or something like that. I don't really know what to do for this one. What do good YouTubers do? I don't know. So here we go, guys. He's always going to open up with that breaking swipe. That is not going to matter to us. For one, not very effective, but for two, it's only for two. It's only going to drop our attack, which is irrelevant for this raid. You also don't need an Intimidate Pokemon, but having an Intimidate Pokemon will help. We want to open up with some Mud Slaps. His Fire Fang is going to do nothing to us really, even though it says it's super effective. It still doesn't really do a lot of damage, and it's not really going to come into play. So we want to be hitting those Mud Slaps to drop his accuracy and see if we can get a chain of missed attacks, which would be really, really helpful. Obviously, he will reset at some point, but this is a good way to get your Tera up at the start. And that's kind of the aim right at the start. We're trying to build that Tera before we go into those Iron Defenses. Earthquake for us is super helpful. It is literally a free heal, and he will do it multiple times throughout the raid, which is why Earth Eater is so important. He does catch on though, and not just use it constantly. So, shield goes up quite early, guys. Looks like it's at about 85% of time left. Want to hit that final Mud Slap to be able to get your Tera up, and then we're going to move into our Iron Presses. Hopefully we can get lucky here and have some missed attacks from him. Basically, he's going to do a rotation of Sword Dance, Liquidation, Fire Fang, and Poison Jab. None of them are really that difficult. Sword Dance, obviously, if we had an Intimidate Pokemon with us, would be negated, but for us it will buff, but he doesn't spam it, so it's not a huge worry. Get that Tera up there. Tera fighting for this one isn't really going to change a whole deal for us. Still immune or resistant to a lot of his attacks, or they just don't do much damage in general. So that first one is going to get us to +2. We obviously want to get to +6, and we're getting lucky here and having a few missed attacks from him. Iron Defense, again, sometimes you can get lucky and chain a couple of attacks if you're faster, but it seems to vary. I don't know if it's just a bug of the raid or whatever. You guys know how glitchy these things are. There we go, so we're at +4, going to go for +6. Basically that is the start of this. It does get a little bit complicated towards the middle. He can wipe your Earth Eater obviously, but Protect does counter that, but sometimes you don't need it, so it's a bit of a weird one to judge. But we're going to Tera up here after he uses this Sword Stance. Obviously that's going to put him at probably a +2 now. Can't remember if he's done it already, but it still doesn't do a lot of damage. So we're going to be floating around. If you have an Intimidate user, you'll be floating around max health the whole time, but if you don't, you'll probably be in the mid zone, but you shouldn't really be at risk of going down. Rough Skin for us barely does anything. That's what the Shell Bell's there for. It actually counters and you heal more than the Rough Skin, so it doesn't really matter. Rough Skin has been difficult in a few other builds. I've already tried Lurantis and Superior, and they just go down so quick to Poison Jab basically. So this was my next idea. I really like this Pokemon, so glad to get this one to work. But Rough Skin, guys, not too big a deal. You should be out healing that anyway. Even with his attacks, even if he gets a double off. So the timing gets a little bit weird here. Going to go into another Body Press. Just basically keep Body Pressing until you break his shield. Obviously breaking the shield is the main thing. Once you get through the shield, he doesn't have too many tricks, but I get some weird timing here and actually make a couple of mistakes, which I'll kind of explain through. And don't do what I did, and hopefully you can have a better run. My first few runs of this were a lot faster, but I thought I'd give you guys like the honest video in case you run into these troubles as well. So hopefully you guys appreciate that. But Poison Jab's going to do basically nothing to us. Body Press should break the shield here, but it might not. Just missed. But yeah, once the shield goes down, he's going to reset his side and yours, which obviously means he's now not going to be missing those attacks. and you could use Protect here if you want. I actually back out and use an Iron Defense because last time I used Protect and he didn't attack me. The only attack that matters here, which was dumb of me too also because I didn't realise he hadn't reset my stats. So your stats don't... yeah, I'm a little bit confused what happened there because I swear the message came up, but maybe not. I feel like every time I see the shield, I instantly think that that's what's happened. But we will see here. Maybe I was wrong. I actually can't remember. But obviously, if I had used double attacks, then we'd be in a much better spot. So there we go. He's nullified my stats now, so that's my bad. Use Protect now just in case. I get lucky and he gets paralyzed. But weirdly, the game doesn't register that as an attack. So right now, I still don't have any immunity to Earthquake, which seems ridiculous because we blocked his attack, even though he did do an attack. So I thought here, free heal, sweet. Actually took off quite a lot of health. So probably use Protect straight away. It's not a huge issue, but yeah, don't make the same mistake as me. We would have been through this raid probably 30 seconds faster if I hadn't done that. Start to build up that Iron Defense again, guys. You're going to want to get to +6 again, but once you do, you're going to be in a really, really good spot. We do get a couple of clutch paralyzers here, which is super, super lucky, guys. But again, it's not necessary. We clear this with enough time. You should basically be able to have any combination of NPCs, but I think having a Dun Dun Sparse or a Belly Bolt and then a combination of Intimidate users is probably going to be your best bet. If you get 2 Intimidate users, you guys are going to absolutely smoke through this. But again, wanted to do a harder video to kind of show you guys how to do it properly if you're running into trouble. Hopefully you guys appreciate that, and if you do, please leave a like on the video and subscribe. Really, really helps out the channel. We keep growing and we do have Switch 2 content coming. I do have one day one in Australia. Spent my $800 dues or whatever the hell it was. Super expensive, but I'm going to do a breakdown of the updates to Pokemon and stuff like that on the Switch 2 and tell you guys if it's actually worth getting right now for the improvements. I am going to say no. We all saw those pictures with the whole extra 5 Pokemon that they've been showing off, which is wild. Don't get me wrong, love this game and franchise, but we all know they could be doing better. But yeah, so I'll let you guys know. So subscribe for that if you're interested. But in the meantime, in the background here, we're just going to continue to use those body presses. And basically that's it now. We will get all the way through. Obviously, as all the 7-star raids do, he does drop Herba. So this is definitely worthwhile farming. This is super consistent. I actually beat this on my first time with Orthworm, which is not something I typically do. I kind of test the Pokemon to see the weaknesses and try and die the first few times, but I managed to get through it with no issue. So hopefully you guys will be the same. And then yeah, just gonna keep using those body presses here, guys. You know, I do think this build is obviously built around Earth Eater. I think this would have thrown a lot of people off because of rough skin, so you would not think to be using someone that is using, well, in this case, defense, and a physical attacker. But rough skin, guys, for this, because our defense is so high, we can just tank through it. No stress at all. Look, as you can see there, I'm back at 280 health with no heals and no cheers. So that means, you know, if you don't mess up like I did in the middle there, you'll easily clear this one. There we go. He goes down. I think he does an extra attack or something. No, there we go. He actually does go down. Yeah, guys, he does drop a lot of nice stuff. This is probably the first one in a while that's worth actually doing the raids for to farm. I'm assuming he'll be up, you know, he's up for the 2 weeks, and then after that, I think there'll probably be another shiny event, which, apologies for a couple of weeks ago, I did miss that because I was moving house. But yeah, hopefully you guys can clear this super easy. If you do like our content and this video was helpful, please leave a comment and a like. It really helps us out. Subscribe if you do enjoy our stuff.